This little 3D printer may be the perfect one for all your model railroad needs. Let's just look at it. It's adorable. This is the Kokoni EC1. It retails for $249. Kokoni sent this printer to me to try out, and it's interesting. Most 3D print companies are trying to get bigger and taller prints at faster speeds. Kokoni is focused on ease of use. You don't need a computer to print. I've been printing some detail parts as well as some fascia accessories, and here's what I've learned. The printer has a build volume of 3.93 inches by 3.93 inches by 2.28 inches, so not a big area. The print bed is not heated, so you're going to be limited on filament choices to, well, PLA. Speaking of filament, it comes in these cartridges that attach to the back of the printer. I know a lot of people are going to like that, as a matter of fact. The filament is easy to swap using the app. Now, I have been printing quite a few things, and the neatest thing about this printer is that you control it entirely from your phone. The slicer and everything is within the app, and it is surprisingly easy to use. Since the printer only uses a specific filament, you don't need to do a ton of setting changes to prints. The app has a lot of cool features like a selfie 3D modeler, which I don't think you really need for model railroading, and it also has an object modeler, which is something potentially very cool for model railroading. And this is where you can basically take your phone and scan an object, and then it'll create a model for it that you can print. Now, this is in beta, and I couldn't get it to work when I tried to do some rolling stock with it. It always seemed to get stuck at 90%. This is still in beta, so I'm not going to fault them for that. They're obviously still working on it. With all of these features though, and the ease of use of the app itself, there's a lot to like about this printer. So let's try a few prints. The first thing that I want to print is a small version of my parts bin for my fascia panels. I want to size them down for something like car cards and waybills. This was pretty simple in the app. I did have to load the models from the computer on their website, but as soon as I did load them, they appeared on the app under previous models. You open the models and prep them in the slicer that is built in on the app. You can send it directly to the printer from there. Now, just know this printer is not a speed demon. It is not the slowest printer I've ever used, but it's not going to be setting any records. But it is pretty quiet. I could sit in the room with the printer and not be bothered. It does have a loud beep though when you are starting it up and in various parts of the process, so just be aware of that. The lack of a heated bed means you may need to use painter's tape and a glue stick for the prints, and they actually include some painter's tape with the printer. I printed the little box and a couple of HO scale detail parts like a barrel, a dumpster, and a crate, and they all turned out pretty good. You're not going to get insane detail like you would with a resin printer, but that's just the nature of filament printers. Now, I did see also where Steve over at Steve's Trains reviewed this printer as well, and he printed a bunch of in-scale roof details, and after paint, they turned out pretty good. So it's just in how you finish them. Oh yeah, that video is linked right here. So what do I think of this printer for model railroading with how many different printers I've used for this hobby? First of all, you're probably not going to be going gangbusters with this printer and printing every single structure and detail on your layout. This is a true desktop 3D printer in terms of size. And what I mean by this is, yes, most printers could technically be considered desktop printers, but the EC1 can sit at one end of your desk and be quietly working away as you do other things. I envision a model railroader using this printer as sort of a spur-of-the-moment way. You're working on something and you want an extra crate or door or some other detail, you find the model or design it, then you use your phone to send it to the printer and get back to whatever else you're doing while it prints. Its real selling point is its ease of use. I've got a link in the description below to the printer, and I also got a coupon code down there that'll save you an additional $30. The Kokoni EC1 is a great little printer for those who just need a little printer for the occasional odd detailing job on their model railroad. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Jimmy from the DIY and Digital. Stay safe, be kind, and happy railroading.